That might have been. It's typically blue cards on squats are up-down movement, so that possibly was seen by one of the judges.
Alexander Renner of Austria now spuds all of these spots and loaders, saying, I know you got me, and opens on at 285 kilos. It's interesting, you know, we see in the 120 plus is a very large range of weights, because, as you know, it's the open weight category.
Yeah, 120 plus. I mean, if you just take a look at who's in this B flight, you've got gentlemen weighing in over 160, and you've got gentlemen weighing in the 130s. So absolutely, you're going to see different body dimensions, different styles, and different strength levels.
Now it's a really strong opener from Renner.
And as we were saying earlier, there are a number of times where we've seen a B flight competitor sneak their way.
305, so flying past that 300 mark on his squat, second.
I would also go back and just say that Koch is nominated over 900 before with just his opener, bench, and deadlift. So if he can actually put something up in the high 900s, and especially if he could somehow manage to total over 1,000, he's going to be a problem for some of the A-flight lifters who are trying to make rankings.
A little bit of a fight, but he gets it up nicely.
And here's where we're going to start to see the quick-moving aspect of this flight and the discerning nature of the judges wanting to see convincing depth potentially start to lower the expectations of some of these lifters, and we'll probably see some big fights on these seconds. But hopefully everyone has made the adjustments they need to hopefully get an attempt at least on a third.
Yeah, and as you were mentioning,
Lifter to have the opportunity to push themselves to their limit, and all of these gentlemen are getting that and getting their second attempts and being able to take a shot on goal with their third.
Alexander Renner of Austria now taking a conservative 5 kilo jump. And as we said before, you know, you have to do the whole weight again plus some, so it's worth taking a conservative jump and getting your third in to build your total.
It's interesting to spot how these lifters get themselves in the right mindset for their squat. They tend to get a little more amped up, but not to the point where they lose control, because the squat is a highly technical movement. Oh, a great fight. And he's smiling on the way up.
A really good call, I think, from the Austrian team.
Yeah, very good attempt selection.
And a good lift. And yeah, you tend to see people use more and more mental and emotional energy as they go through their lifts. You know, if you go on holiday with a certain amount of money, you're not going to spend it all on the first day. Otherwise, you're left with no money. And the same is with energy.
You're explaining why I got stranded last time. Command with the bar should only be moving upward.
215 kilos now remains on the bar for Alexander Renner of Austria.
Takes his time setting up, fills his chest cavity with air, lifts the chest nice and high to produce that range of motion and stay nice and stable.
Wow.
Very powerful.
Yeah, and just like his squat opener, very, very fast. Seems like well below his capabilities. And so I'm expecting to see a pretty hefty jump from him.
That's right. And the bench press being so technical, sometimes you're limited, despite the absolute load, with what's a reasonable down for your attempt to be registered or at least the initial command to be registered for the bench press. Will start only after the bench has been cleaned and they say the bar is loaded and call you out. So it could result in another 30 to 60 seconds of rest, which can make the difference if you're riding it close to the line or if you have a lifter who just needs a little bit more time or if their conditioning isn't quite up to snuff. That moves well.
Yeah, I think it puts him in a good position moving into his thirds. You know, it's normal to see a lot of the time a bigger jump for the first to second and then slightly smaller from a second to third, and I think that's exactly where that leaves him.
Absolutely, and the one thing you'll see most lifters not do unless it's on the deadlift and they're moving for
Bench of this morning's session, we have Alexander Renner of Austria with 230 kilos, a 5 kilo jump from his second.
Strong word usage, Amelia. I would not want to play Scrabble with you. Penultimate, fabulous.
Thank you very much.
Stays smooth throughout.
Yeah, a really well called third there, and a really strong day so far from Renner.
Yeah, that's unequivocal. He got 3 white lights.
I know you're looking at me. It is also a good word, Eric.
I was definitely fishing for that compliment, and I appreciate it.
We'll play Scrabble.
Talcum powder transferred from the lifter's thighs onto the bar, which you absolutely don't want on your hands. And even if it is just chalk on the bar, you don't want it so tightly and thickly packed on the knurling that you don't get the benefit of that friction.
Alexander Renner of Austria now, 310 kilos. Looking strong all day. And his deadlift opener is not an exception and is a good lift. It's so hard to tell sometimes when you get to these bigger men that they're fully locked out, and clearly he was. But as the shoulders get bigger, it's harder and harder to pull them back, or to at least see how far they've been pulled back.
That's right. Big knees, big shoulders.
This is a small jump, but it's not 2.5 kilos he's lifting.
That's right. And it does get you to that all-satisfying 900 kilo total. So I do expect a 2.5 or a 5 based upon how that moved.
We have Alexander Renner now, taking 345 kilos, a 35 kilo jump from his opener. A big jump.
Yeah, that's a massive jump. Now, as we said, if there is a lift to do it on, it's the deadlift. But he is a sumo puller, and I think it's going to be challenging to adjust to this type of load if he's got the strength without losing balance. I wish him the best. Let's see how he performs.
Wow.
Wow. What a jump. And that's going to launch him up the rankings.
Yeah, absolutely incredible there from Renner. And you know what? If you told me he was going to do a 35 kilo jump, I said, well, his opener looked good, but is 35 kilos a bit too optimistic? And
it's hard to gauge.
yeah, and we have Alexander Renner out first of Austria with 360 kilos, another 15 kilo jump, made a 35 kilo jump from his first to second, and it didn't slow him down all too much. So let's see how 360 goes for him.
And he's got the Austrian team behind him, a lot of people in the audience. Everyone wants to see him get this.
This will take him to a 900 kilo total.
This is a milestone lift for a lot of reasons. Taking his time as a sumo puller, making sure he's got the right position, but also getting the right level of arousal. It passes the knees. Oh, he's still going. I'm not sure he fully locked out, though, Amelia.
Yeah, we'll have to see what the referees say. Unfortunately,
1 light, and the Austrian team is going to the jury. And once again, we're in a situation where we need to get a 3 out of 5 ruling for that to get overturned. They're watching.
yeah, should he get it, it'll be a 20 kilo total PB for him.
I see 1 thumb up.
We will keep an eye on that and let you know if anything changes there.
Oh, it is overturned. He gets it. Fantastic.
There we go. And that is